Konoha's first Hokage, Hashirama, known as the God of Shinobi, and probably the strongest ninja in history. But someone was still able to kill him, and interestingly enough, it was not by the hand of his great enemy, Madara Uchiha. Despite Hashirama's strength, he died at a young age, with no further canon explanation given, not even a hint.
Maybe because the incest uncertainty is the power of the blood?
That could be, but pay attention and you might get an explanation. The statement that mangaka Kishimoto gave us that Hashirama died in battle could have been an inconsistency, because if Madara couldn't kill him, it's reasonable to think that no one else could. In fact, when Hashirama's corpse is reincarnated by Orochimaru, he appears without notable injuries. And we know that the reanimation jutsu gives the reanimated body the same appearance that the person had at the time of his death. However, there is a big fact that I want to bring into the table, and it surrounds the cells of Hashirama. Let's remember that these famous cells grant those who possess them incredible powers, such as the ability to regenerate, the ability to perform jutsus of the wood element, and have an enormous amount of chakra. For this same reason, everyone wants to possess them. There have even been conducted multiple experiments in an attempt to replicate them. So how could someone that possesses all this immense power die with no greater explanation? I'm gonna dive into some theories about it with you.
Yay! Tell us more!
Theory number 1. He was defeated during the First War or even before that. Personally, I refuse to believe this. It's very unrealistic to think that someone could kill him unless he sacrificed himself or somehow restrained himself. Considering that Hashirama used sealing techniques of the Uzumaki clan, it's a possibility that some of those techniques might have shortened his lifespan. For example, in exchange of using a certain technique, you have to lose 20 years of life. Or that it directly cost him his life, like we know some techniques like the dead demon consuming seal does. Now if we go back to the Uzumaki clan, he could very well have fought against someone who was able to seal away some of his powers, just as Hiruzen sealed Orochimaru's arms, preventing him from using any technique. It's not out of the question that this person could have sealed away Hashirama's ability to heal himself.
But I thought he was too strong for that.
Yes, Maxi, he was very strong, but he died. So let's look at the next theory. 2. He overused his cells, ultimately losing them. Hashirama might have very well reached a point where his cells stopped regenerating, causing his life expectancy to shorten, and ultimately preventing him from growing old. However, this is not with great likelihood, since Madara himself managed to raise an army, live without the need to eat or drink, locked in a cave for almost 100 years. And he was able to do this only with a single piece of Hashirama's skin.
What? Where can I get those cells?
I think that's the question we are all asking, Maxi. Considering the examples we have of how broken these cells are in Obito, Danzo, and Yamato, and that was only achieved with little pieces, imagine someone that is made of these cells. Then this theory becomes more unlikely. Let's move on to the next one. Death for sickness. Hashirama cells might have been inspired by Henrietta Lacks cells. Henrietta Lacks suffered from cancer, and her cells were extracted for research purposes. Sometime later, it was discovered that these cells had unique properties and were eventually used for treatment of different diseases, including cancer itself. Similarly to Henrietta, the theory is that Hashirama could have died of cancer resulting from these same cells that made him invincible. We see a similar concept in the Marvel comic Deadpool, right? Deadpool has cancer, but also super regeneration, and both are what is keeping him alive, since without the cancer, his cells will regenerate, evolving his body so much that it will end up exploding. Now, translating this to Hashirama, perhaps the fact that he is made of exactly those cells causes them to overly multiply without a need, ending up overloading and damaging the body, to the point where it generates something like cancer. I know what you might be thinking. So why this doesn't happen with all the other people that use these cells? Simply because it's not their cells. They do not generate them naturally, or alternatively, they generate them in a controlled way, like the Setsus. And for that reason, Hashirama could have died very young. Furthermore, it could also have been that the excessive use of this healing power caused it to malfunction, as this could considerably reduce his lifespan, like the Byakugo Jutsu, that increases the speed in which cells regenerate. However, this same acceleration as well shortens the user's life. Let's remember that Hashirama lived in a time where wars between clans happened daily, and we're talking about battles that could have lasted days. It might be that his constant use of regeneration caused him to naturally pass away very young.
Ew, where's the fun in that? That's way too serious.
Well, it can all be fun and games, right?
I guess.
On to the final theory of today, which could explain Hashirama's early death, his role as an Ashura reincarnation. Due to his role as a reincarnation, Hashirama had to die before Naruto's birth, since two reincarnations cannot coexist at the same time. Therefore, regardless of the power of his cells or any other power of the plot.
Ooh.
What, Maxi?
That's what I said in the beginning.
That's why I told you to stick around. So let's continue. Ultimately, Hashirama had to die at a similar age to Madara, since Indra and Ashura always reincarnate at the same time. And if one of the two reincarnations dies, the other one must die within a short period of time, in order for it to possess another person and continue the eternal fight. Let's remember that Madara died in the battle against Hashirama, but he tricked death by imposing a time limit to revive with the Izanagi. So maybe Ashura had to leave Hashirama's body and prepare to see what body Indra would possess next, creating the path to reincarnate into his counterpart. But Madara revived with the Izanagi, and Hashirama ended up dying when he should not have. The problem is that mangaka Kishimoto never went into detail on the subject of reincarnations. However, this could explain why Indra and Ashura skipped so many generations, because Madara refused to die, and Ashura had to wait for Indra to be reincarnated into another body. We must conclude that Madara lived more or less until the Third Ninja War, as there were no Senjus left, finally leaving Ashura to go to the Senju's distant relatives, the Uzumaki, thus reincarnating into Naruto. Conclusion. I truly believe that you cannot kill someone made of Hashirama cells. There is no logical explanation for his death, which is probably why Kishimoto left it hanging. All we can do is theorize about it. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.
See y'all in the next one. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Bye bye, everybody.